नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वपत्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
बलराम बलदेव का बलराम शक्ति का बलदेव शक्ति बोली ना बलराम शक्ति भी पाठवलं।
We'll begin the fourth canto, second chapter. Fourth canto, second chapter to seventh chapter. It's a very important episode, the fourth canto, the episode of Daksha Yajna. So this chapter begins with the questions asked by Vidura, and these questions are based on the verses in the previous chapter. At the end of the previous chapter, Maitreya Rishi had mentioned that Sati could not produce a child, although she was faithfully engaged in the service of Lord Shiva. And then the reason is that Sati's father Daksha used to rebuke Lord Shiva in spite of Shiva's faultlessness. Consequently, before attaining a mature age, Sati gave up her body by dint of yogic mystic power. So based on these last two verses, Vidura is actually asking a question. Let us begin. Vidura Uvacha
Vidura Uvacha
Bhave Shilavatam Shreshto
Bhave Shilavatam Shrestha
Bhave Shilavatam Shreshte
Bhave Shilavatam Shresthe
Daksho Duhitru Vatsalaha
Daksho Duhitru Vatsalaha
Vidveshamakaro Kasmad
Vidvesham Akarot Kasmad
Anadrityatmajam Satim.
Anadrityatma Jamsatim. Translation. Vidura inquired, why was Daksha, who was so affectionate towards his daughter, envious of Lord Shiva, who is the best among the gender? Why did he neglect his daughter Sati?
So here we see Vidura is asking question. The nature of Daksha is Duhitru Vatsalaha. So Daksha had a great affection towards his daughter. Naturally, any father has an affection towards the daughter. And Sati was also the youngest daughter. So Duhitru Vatsalaha Dakshaha. That Daksha who is affectionate towards his daughter, Atmajam Satim Anadritya. Atmajam Satim Anadritya. That means neglecting his own daughter Sati, Shilavatam Sreshte Bhave. Shilavatam Sreshta is the adjective for Bhava. Bhava refers to Lord Shiva. Shilavatam Sreshta means the best among the gentle, the best among the persons with good conduct. And Kasmat Vidvesham Akarot. Kasmat, why did Daksha, who is so affectionate towards the daughter, by neglecting his own daughter, why did he actually, why did he hate Lord Shiva, who is the best among the gentle? Who the best among the gentle. So this is the question of Daksha Prajapati. This is the question of Vidura. So we see in this chapter, second. Yeah, in this chapter, the second chapter, we will see that Daksha, after cursing Lord Shiva, he will depart in great anger. And we will see in this chapter how the followers of Daksha and the followers of Lord Shiva, they will curse each other. These are the events in this chapter. So, we see the question of Vidura is that we have to focus on the adjective used by Vidura. Daksha definitely had affection towards his daughter, Duhitru Vatsala. And because Daksha had affection for his daughter, he should not have shown hatred to Shiva. So sometimes it may be because if he did not have affection towards the daughter, he might have shown hatred to Lord Shiva. No, he had affection towards the daughter. And on top of that, his son-in-law, Lord Shiva, was the best among the gentle, manly persons. So either suppose if the son-in-law was not gentle or he did not have affection towards the daughter, then it is understandable that Daksha had hatred towards Shiva. But here it's specifically mentioned that Daksha had affection towards the daughter, and moreover, and Lord Shiva was the best among the gentlemanly person. But still, why did Daksha hate Lord Shiva? So that is the question of Vidura. So Prabhupada also writes in the purport, Lord Shiva is called as Shilavatam Sreshta because he is not the best of the gentle because he is not envious of anyone. The word Shiva means all auspicious. So Lord Shiva is such a great Vaishnava that he never hates anybody. No one can be an enemy of Lord Shiva because he is so peaceful and renounced that he does not even construct a house for his residence, but lives underneath a tree. Once he constructed the house for his residence, but on the Graha Pravesha ceremony, so many people came for the Graha Pravesha ceremony and he gave charity to all those different Brahmanas. Ultimately, one Brahmana came and Lord Shiva said, the only thing I have with me to give charity to you is this house only. And then in the Graha Pravesha house, he gave that house as a charity to that Brahmana. So that is how Lord Shiva was so detached actually. He's so detached from the worldly things. So therefore, Shilavatam Sreshta is the best among the gentlemanly person. So why did Daksha, who is so affectionate towards his daughter and who had such a gentlemanly person as a son-in-law, why did he develop such a hatred towards Lord Shiva? So naturally a very inquisitive question. So Vidura is very sharp in catching uh, very sharp in actually uh, hearing different events which were described by Maitreya Rishi. As soon as Maitreya Rishi mentioned in the previous chapter about Sati giving up her body because there was enmity between Daksha and Shiva. So immediately Vidura is asking this question, particularly using the appropriate adjectives to describe Shiva and to describe Daksha. Next shloka. Kastam charachara gurum
Kastam charachara gurum
nirvairam shanta vigraham
nirvairam shanta vigraham
atma ramam katham dveshti
atma ramam katam dveshti
jagato daivatam mahat.
jagato daivatam mahat. Translation. Lord Shiva, the spiritual master of the entire world, is free from enmity, is a peaceful personality, and is always satisfied in himself. He is the greatest among the demigods. How is it possible that Daksha could be inimical towards such an auspicious personality?
So we see more qualities of Lord Shiva are mentioned. The previous verse he mentioned Shilavatam Sreshta. Now he says that another quality of Lord Shiva is Charachara Gurum. He is the Guru of the moving and non-moving living entities. Chara and Achara. The animate. He is the Guru, the spiritual master of the animated and inanimate, moving and non-moving. Nirvairam. He is without enmity. Shanta Vigraham. He is the personification of peacefulness. Atma Ramam is completely self-satisfied. And then Jagataha Mahat Daivatam. He is the great worshipable Devata of the universe. He is a great worshipable Devata in the whole universe. So we see how many words are used. Charachara Gurum, Nirvairam, Shanta Vigraham, Atma Ramam, and Jagataha Mahat Daivatam. 5 words are used to describe Lord Shiva. And then previous verse, 1 word. Shilavatam Sreshta. So such a personality is Lord Shiva. Kastam Katam Dveshti. Who in this world can hate such a person, Lord Shiva, who is having these qualities? And why will anybody in this world hate a person like Lord Shiva, who is having these qualities? 2 question marks are there. Kastam, who in this world will ever hate Lord Shiva? Katam Dveshti means why will anybody hate such a person? Sometimes if a person is by nature envious, he is not nirvairam, then there is a reason for somebody to be hating such a person. If somebody is always like the opposite of Atma Ramam is completely one, somebody who is self-satisfied. The opposite of Atma Ramam is what? Somebody who is always going after the external objects in this world in order to seek satisfaction. Somebody who is always looking for external objects. So it may be possible that it's easy that one will hate such a person because such a person will be busy accumulating the different objects in this world then one may hate such a person. But Lord Shiva is a Nirvairam, Shanta Vigraham, and moreover is a Charachara Guru. One should never hate a Guru actually. Even if the Guru is externally is not displaying Nirvairam. Even if the Guru is externally is Vairam, is envious. Even if the Guru is externally is Ashanta Vigraham. Even then, a Guru should never be hated. But what to speak of Lord Shiva, who is a Nirvairam, Shanta Vigraham and a Guru. And moreover, he is the Guru of the entire world, all the moving and non-moving living entities. And Jagataha Mahat Daivatam, he is the great Devata of the whole universe. Who in this world will ever hate such a person? And why will anybody hate such a person? This is a very profound question by Vidura. If we see the purport of Srinath Chakotipat says that how could Daksha show hatred towards Shiva? He is the Guru. Lord Shiva is the Guru because of these qualities, Nirvairam, Shanta Vigraham, Atma Ramam. If externally the Guru shows enmity or a disturbed body or Ashanta Vigraham, if he is not peaceful, even then one should not hate him. What to speak of when the Guru is having these qualities? So how was it possible that Daksha could show hatred towards a personality like Lord Shiva? And moreover, Daksha is living within the universe. That means Lord Shiva is the Guru of Daksha also. Lord Shiva is Charachara Guru, is the Guru of the moving and non-moving entities. And Daksha is one of the moving living entity living within the universe. So therefore, Lord Shiva is the Guru even of Daksha. But Daksha, the point is he did not see Lord Shiva as the Guru. He saw Lord Shiva as a son-in-law. We will see that little later. So one should never see a Guru externally, and one should never hate the Guru. Prabhupada, let us see Prabhupada's purport. So Lord Shiva is the Charachara Guru. He is called as Bhutanada, the worshipable deity of the dull-headed. So Bhuta also sometimes refers to ghosts. So Lord Shiva is so compassionate. He takes charge of reforming people who are in Tamoguna. The ghosts and the demons. Therefore, he is the spiritual master of everyone, both the dull and demoniac and the highly learned Vaishnavas. Lord Shiva is the spiritual master of even the ghosts. And Lord Shiva also became the spiritual master of highly learned, cultured people like Prachetas. So he is the spiritual master of even the highly learned Vaishnavas. Vaishnavanam yata Shambhuhu, the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So on one hand, he is the worshipable deity of the dull demons. And on the other side, he is the best of all the Vaishnavas. And he has started a sampradaya called as Rudra Sampradaya. So therefore, there is absolutely no reason for Lord Shiva to become the object of envy of somebody. So therefore, Vidura is completely astonished to hear that that Daksha was envious of Lord Shiva. And Daksha is also not an ordinary person. Daksha is a Prajapati. And all his daughters are elevated, including Sati, the most chaste. So Daksha is also elevated person, Prajapati. And then therefore, how could a person like Daksha hate actually Lord Shiva? So that is therefore Vidura is completely astonished in asking this question. How then could there possibly be so much enmity between them that Sati took the decision of giving up her body? Sati took the last ultimate decision of giving up her body. How is it that the quarrel reached to such a rate? Because giving up the body is a very serious decision. That is the third verse is asking the question. ये तदाख्या हि मे ब्रह्मन्
एतदाख्याहि मे ब्रह्मन्
जामातुश्वसुरस्य च
जामातु श्वशुरस्य च
विद्वेषस्तु यतः प्राणाम्
विद्वेषस्तु यतः प्राणाम्
तत्यजे दुस्त्यजान् सती.
तत्यजे दुस्त्यजान् सती. My dear Maitreya, to part with one's life is very difficult. Would you kindly explain to me how much a son-in-law and father-in-law could quarrel so bitterly that the great goddess Sati could give up her life?
So we see Jamatuhu Shashurasya cha, the quarrel between son-in-law and the father-in-law. So Dustyajan Pranan is very difficult to give up one's own life. But how is it that Sati took that extreme decision of giving up her body because of the quarrel between Lord Shiva and Daksha? This is something astonishing. So please describe this episode. Kindly explain why Sati took such an extreme decision because of this quarrel. So now Maitreya Rishi starts answering. So we see beautiful all these questions asked by Vidura, Parishit Maharaj, the sages of Naimisharanya. These questions, these hearers are asking the questions with great attention, and these questions are actually giving direction to the flow of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this question by Vidura is only making, because of this, Maitreya Rishi starts describing this episode for the next 7 chapters. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Pura Vishwasrijam Satre.
Pura Vishwasrijam Satre.
Sameta Paramarshayah.
Sameta Paramarshayah.
Tatha Maragana Sarve.
Tatha Maragana Sarve.
Sanuga Munayognayah.
Sanuga Munayognayah. The sage Maitreya said, in the former time, the leaders of the universal creation performed a great sacrifice in which all the great sages, philosophers, demigods, and fire gods assembled with their followers.
Maitreya starts describing the episode of Daksha Yajna. So Pura, in the former time, Vishwasrijam Satre. Satra means a sacrifice. Vishwasrij means the creators of the universe. So Paramarshayah Tata Paramarshayah, that the sacrifice who all were assembled there. Paramarshayah, great sages. Amara Ganaha, Devatas. And Sanuga Munayo Agnayah, great sages, along with different followers, Anugas, and Munayah, different, there are other sages, and Agnayah, the fire gods. All these people, Sameta, they were assembled in that sacrifice. So in that sacrifice, Daksha enters the sacrificial arena. Tatra pravishtam rishayo
तत्र प्रविष्टं ऋषयो
दृष्ट्वार्कमिव रोचिषा
दृष्ट्वार्कमिव रोषिषा
भ्राजमानं वितिमिरं
भ्राजमानं वितिमिरं
कुर्वन्तं तन्महत्सदः.
कुर्वन्तं तन्महत्सदः. Translation. When Daksha, the leader of the Prajapatis, entered that assembly, his personal bodily luster, as bright as the effulgence of the sun, the entire assembly was illuminated, and all the assembled personalities became insignificant in his presence.
So Daksha Prajapati entered the Tatra Pravishtam. At that time, all the sages, Drishtva, they saw Daksha Prajapati. And the Daksha Prajapati had effulgence like the sun. Arkam iva rochisha. Brajamanam, that means he was effulgent like the sun, shining with luster. Timiram, because of that effulgence, he actually dissipated the darkness there. He dissipated the darkness in that assembly. Vitimiram kurvantam, tan mahat sadaha. So you can see, to have such a great effulgence, that itself shows Daksha was a very pious person. Somebody who executes different religious rituals properly, they exhibit such effulgence. They become very effulgent. So then at that time, everybody got up. Udatishtan sadasyaste.
Udadishtan tadasyaste
Swadishnebhyapsakagnayah.
vadishnebhya sahagnaya
Rite virincham sharvam cha.
ite virincham sharvam cha
Tadbasa kshipta chetasah.
tadbhasa shipta chetasah. Influenced by his personal bodily luster, all the fire gods and other participants in that great assembly, with the exceptions of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, gave up their own sitting places and stood in respect for Daksha.
So the entire assembly, Saha Agnayah, along with the fire gods. The fire gods, you can imagine, Daksha was so effulgent that in front of the effulgence of Daksha, even the personified fire gods became insignificant. Even they were so influenced by Daksha's effulgence. Even the fire gods and everyone in the assembly, Rite Virincham Sharvam Cha, except Virinchi, that is Brahma and Shiva. Everybody got up. Udatishtan sadasyaste swadishnebhyah, rose from their seats. Tad basa akshipta chetasah, because all of them got influenced by the effulgence of Daksha. Tad basa akshipta chetasah, except Brahma and Shiva. Everyone got up. So at that time, Sadasaspati birdaksho
सदसस्पतिभिर्दक्षो
Bhagavan sadhu satkritah
भगवान् साधु सत्कृतः
ajam lokagurum natva
अजं लोकगुरुं नत्वा
nishasadattadagyaya.
निससाद तदज्ञया. Daksha was adequately welcomed by the president of the great assembly, Lord Brahma. After offering Lord Brahma respect, Daksha, by the order of Brahma, properly took his seat.
So we see Sadasaha Patibir Dakshu Bhagavan Sadhu Satkritaha. So Sadhu Satkritaha, welcomed properly by the Sadasas Pati, by the leaders of the assembly. So Daksha, he offered respects to Brahma. Loka Gurum. Brahma is called as the Loka Gurum, the Guru of the universe. He offered respects to Brahma. And then Tad Agnyaya, with the permission of Brahma, Nishasada, he sat down. So here in this Prabhupada gives purport. No, next verse purport. So this whole episode, we will see that the whole episode starts with one thing, that everybody got up except Brahma and Lord Shiva. And Brahma did not get up because Brahma is he is the father of Daksha. So Daksha did not get disturbed by Brahma getting up, Brahma not getting up. But Lord Shiva did not get up, and that actually infuriated Daksha, and then how he is going to respond to that. So the whole episode starts just because Lord Shiva not getting up from the seat to respect Daksha Prajapati. Yeah. So we can see Daksha Prajapati is a very intelligent, pious person. But even the most intelligent persons in this world can be befooled by the silliest of the things under the influence of Maya. The silliest of the thing is that one person not getting up. But thousands of people in the assembly got up. One person did not get up. But the most intelligent person can be agitated just by that. So this pastime, in one sense, it is actually is going to teach us the power of the false ego, power of the ahankara. That is one of the main theme of this pastime. So the false ego, it may not be very directly mentioned in the pastime, but that is the main. Sometimes when there is an advertisement for a product, so the main product is actually some particular, say, suppose soap is being advertised. But then a person, suppose, comes in the bike, the advertisement person going in the bike, seen is also there. But the main product is actually the soap. But instead of getting attracted to the bike, soap, if a person gets attracted to the bike, that means he is missing the whole point of the advertisement. So similarly, the main one of the theme of this particular pastime is the power of false ego. So the power, the size, and the gigantic proportion and the extent of the penetration of the false ego is showcased by this whole pastime. So oftentimes we see in this world also so many quarrels which happen. It's all because of the root cause of the problem is the false ego, the ahankara. Because of that, people choose to quarrel. So the main, a small spark can actually spread and bring down the whole building to ashes. Similarly, this false ego may appear like a small spark, or this just one person not getting it from the seat. Just by that, actually, the Daksha's false ego got so offended, the way he is going to respond, and then the response of Daksha, how it triggers the chain of events. That you will see in this actual episode. So sometimes there is a in science there is a one particular term called as, I think, deterministic chaos theory, something like that. I have to check exactly the term. So suppose there is a one cycle tire got burst in one particular place, and that cycle tire getting burst, that creates a chain of events. In another place there is a cyclone because of this. So it may appear very strange, but this one cycle tire getting burst, it can actually, it triggers a chain of events, and suddenly in another part of the world there is a cyclone. There was a long back in childhood, there was a movie uh, that the hero was going to kill a villain, and how he was going to kill the villain was that in a particular room there was a complicated structure was there. So here the hero, he would just put one particular ball in a particular place. We just roll the ball, but that ball would go, and then that would actually hit something else, and that would hit something else, that would hit something else, and finally, because the whole structure was made in such a way, then finally a sharp arrow with a poison tipped sharp arrow would be released, and then the villain was standing in the exact place, and it would go and pierce that villain, and then he would fall dead. So apparently it starts with a small thing, a small ball you put in a particular place, and then by that the one person becomes dead. So similarly here, this whole episode starts with Lord Shiva not getting up. Lord Brahma not getting up, Daksha did not mind because Brahma is the father. But Daksha got offended by Lord Shiva not getting up. So Daksha noticed that Lord Shiva did not get up. So what he is actually going to say? 8th shloka. प्राङ्निषण्णं मृडं दृष्ट्वा
Brahmnish. Mataji, please continue. Please continue.
Okay. प्राङ्निषण्णं मृडं दृष्ट्वा
नामृष्यत्तदनादृतः
नामृष्यत्तदनादृतः
उवाच वामं चक्षुर्भ्याम्
वाच वामं चक्षुर्भ्याम्
अभिवीक्ष्य दहन्निव.
अभिवीक्ष्य दहन्निव. Before taking his seat, however, Daksha was very much offended to see Lord Shiva sitting and not showing him any respect. At that time, Daksha became greatly angry, and his eyes glowing, he began to speak very strongly against Lord Shiva.
So prang nishannam, before Daksha sat, mridam drishtva. Mrida is one of the name of Shiva. Again in this episode you will see various names will be used for Shiva. Bhutanatha, Mrida. In Amarakosha is a Sanskrit dictionary. Amarakosha gives a different Paryayavachi Shabda. Paryayavachi means the synonyms. Paryayavachi Shabda for different great personalities. Paryayavachi Shabda for Vishnu, Paryayavachi Shabda for Shiva, for Brahma, Indra, various personalities. So Mridam is one of the name of Shiva. Before Daksha seated himself, he saw that Lord Shiva was still sitting. And seeing that, and Anadritah, and he saw that Lord Shiva had not respected him by rising. So therefore, Vamam Vacha, he spoke harsh words. And Chakshurbyam Dahanniva, while gazing with eyes ready to burn him up. So one can imagine the extent of anger shown by Daksha. So here Prabhupada writes an important point. Prabhupada says that Lord Shiva, being the son-in-law of Daksha, was expected to show his father-in-law respect by standing with others. But because Brahma and Shiva are the principal devatas, their positions are greater than Daksha's. Daksha, however, could not tolerate this, and he took it as an insult by his son-in-law. So previously also he was not very much satisfied with Lord Shiva, for Lord Shiva looked very poor and was niggardly in dress. So you see, Lord Shiva's position, Daksha was seeing Lord Shiva only as a son-in-law. But Lord Shiva, he is the topmost of the Vaishnavas. That is another role. And more than that, and also not only that, and Lord Shiva is also the principal Devata. So whether you see from the point of view of Lord Shiva as a principal Devata or as the best of the Vaishnavas, one should not expect respect from such a person. But Daksha Prajapati was seeing Lord Shiva only from the point of view of, oh, he is my son-in-law, he is inferior to me. He failed to see that Lord Shiva is a principal Devata, and he failed to see that Lord Shiva is the topmost of the Vaishnavas. So here, this theme will also come later, but here I will just describe briefly. So when we see a Vaishnava should not be seen from a bodily perspective. Daksha Prajapati, one of the main mistake is that he saw a Vaishnava only from a bodily point of view. He is my son-in-law. He is inferior to me. So Ramanujacharya, before departing from this world, Ramanujacharya instructed his disciples how one should not see the Vaishnava from a bodily perspective. He spoke about 12 types of Vaishnava aparadha which arises from seeing the Vaishnava from the bodily point of view. The first is that Janma Nirupana. For example, Janma Nirupana, that means seeing the birth of the Vaishnava and judging them based on that. So this Vaishnava is born in a low class family, or is born in a low caste, or basically by seeing the birth in which kula he has been born. So based on that, judging a person, judging the Vaishnava, that is the Janma Nirupana. Because of that, we may commit a Vaishnava aparadha. Second is the Sharira Nirupana. So based on the body, one may judge a Vaishnava. For example, there are Vaishnavas even in, say, bird species or animal species. Ananta was a snake, but he is a Vaishnava. Ananta is a snake. Snake is generally a envious species, but Ananta is a Vaishnava. Garuda and Jatayu are birds, but they are Vaishnavas. Gajendra is an elephant, but he is a Vaishnava. Hanuman, Shugrivas are monkeys. Prahlad, Vibhishan, Bali, Rakshasa, and Bali, they are all born in a Asura family. Tulasi is a plant, but one should not judge them. Somebody may be a Vaishnava, maybe in a female body, but one should not judge a Vaishnava based on their body. He is an animal body or a bird body, plant body. So Sharira Nirupana, because of that one may commit an offense. And the third is the Bhava Nirupana. So judging a Vaishnava based on their age and the growth. So there are 6 stages of life: Balya, Kaumara, Kaishora, Yavana, Vriddha, and of course finally is death. Sometimes a Vaishnava may be in a very younger age actually, but he may be a very great Vaishnava, but we may just see only from a age point of view. For example, once there was a assembly of sages were present, the banks of the Ganges, and they were having a discussion, and there was some uh, contradiction, there was some conflict in the conclusion. At that time, they were wondering how to resolve this particular discussion. And suddenly, Markandeya Rishi entered that place. And as soon as Markandeya Rishi entered, all of them offered obeisances. Markandeya Rishi is the senior most person. His age is 7 kalpas. 1 kalpa means 1 day of Brahma. 1000 Divya Yugas actually, multiplied by 2. Was 7 kalpas old. You can imagine what must be the age of Markandeya Rishi. So all of them offered obeisances. They wanted to ask the question to Markandeya Rishi. And Markandeya Rishi suddenly, he offered obeisances to the son of Vasishta, that is Parashara Muni. And this Parashara was only 7 years old. The personality who was 7 kalpas old, he offered obeisances to a person who was 7 years old. And seeing that, all these sages, they were actually completely astonished. They came and asked Markandeya Rishi, they asked, like, why are you offering obeisances to this person who is 7 years old? And then Markandeya Rishi said that the real age of a person is dependent on how much a person is actually remembering Krishna. Because how much a person is intense in his remembrance of Krishna or intensely performing bhakti to Krishna, that is the real substance of the person's life. The time which is spent not in service to Krishna, not in remembrance of Krishna, that portion of the life is actually useless. Just like rice may be there, the real substance of the rice is that the rice which is removed from the husk. The husk is a external portion. If the bag of rice is 50 kilo, but after removing the husk, the rice is weighing only 20 kilo, then essentially it is only 20 kilo rice. Similarly, the real substance of the person's life is how much a person has spent in remembrance of Krishna. So therefore, Markandeya Rishi said, one should calculate the age based on this, how much a person is remembering Krishna. So I calculated the age based on this. So according to that calculation, because this Parashara, although he is only 7 years old, the quality and the intensity of his remembrance of Krishna is so great that based on this criteria, his age is greater than all of our age put together. Therefore, I offered obeisances to Parashara. So we see Markandeya Rishi did not judge Parashara based on his external age of 7 years. Sometimes one may judge a Vaishnava based on the Bhava Nirupana. And then fourth is Ashrama Nirupana. Sometimes we may judge a Vaishnava based on the ashram. For this Vaishnava is a sannyasi, therefore he must be great. For this Vaishnava, he is in a brahmachari ashram, he is a full-time devotee, therefore he is great. This Vaishnava, he is not in any ashram, therefore he must be fallen. This Vaishnava is in a grihastha ashram, so he must be a little lower Vaishnava. So we may judge a Vaishnava based on the ashram. And then the fifth point Ramanujacharya mentioned is as Avayava Nirupana. So sometimes a particular Vaishnava may have a certain bodily deformation. Sometimes a certain Vaishnava may be lame, or he may be a dwarf, or he may be blind. Certain bodily deformations may be there. Based on that, one may judge them. Ashtavakra Muni, he was actually bent in different 8 places. So sometimes one may judge such people by external bodily deformation. Sixth is that alasya nirupana. Sometimes one may judge a Vaishnava based on their external activities. For this person, he eats too much. This Vaishnava, he eats 8 chapatis. This Vaishnava, he is sleeping 7-8 hours a day. Or he is snoring too much. So like that, sometimes we may judge a Vaishnava based on their certain external activities. There are certain, what do we say, the term in English is idiosyncrasies. Sometimes there will be certain idiosyncrasies will be there with the Vaishnavas also. And the seventh is Vasa Nirupana. Sometimes a certain Vaishnava may be born in a holy dham. And some other Vaishnava may be, he may be residing in an ordinary place. Some Vaishnava may be residing in a slum area or some other country, Western countries. So therefore, he must be a lower Vaishnava. Like that, one may judge based on the residence of that Vaishnava. Oh, this Vaishnava is residing in a posh area, therefore he must be advanced Vaishnava. This Vaishnava is residing in a slum area or this area, therefore he may be not advanced. Like that, one may think. And then eighth is that Bandhu Nirupana. So because this person is born in my family, so sometimes we may give respect to a Vaishnava because of the family connection, more than the fact that a person is actually a Vaishnava. So one may give respect. Oh, this person is because he's my relative, he's the cousin brother. Therefore, we may give more respect instead of the fact that he's a Vaishnava. So that is a Bandhu Nirupana based on the bodily relationships. Ninth is Prakasha Nirupana. Sometimes we may actually respect great preachers or great acharyas, but may not show proper respect to the simple devotees who may be very sincere, but unassuming simple devotees, but we may give respect to the great acharyas, but sometimes may neglect or disrespect certain simple devotees who are just doing some simple services. Each of that can be expanded, but yes, I'm just listing out the 12 points. The 10th is Prakara Nirupana. Sometimes a certain Vaishnava may be performing certain intimate service to the Lord. He may be head pujari, or one may be the personal servant of the Guru, or this person who is making Radharani's hand garland. So therefore, this devotee must be superior, and there will be another devotee who is just doing some backup seva, or who may be, it's not personal servant of Guru, but he's just doing some 12th man type of seva actually. So based on that, we may actually sometimes disrespect or not show proper respect to certain Vaishnavas who are not doing certain intimate services. Somebody who may be cleaning toilets or like that. So in that way also sometimes we may judge a Vaishnava. And then 11th is Vartana Nirupana. Sometimes we may judge a Vaishnava based on their occupation. Oh, this Vaishnava, oh, he is just an ordinary farmer. Or he is just a sabji seller. He is a sabji market में काम करते हैं. So based on their occupation, we may judge. And then 12th is Dosha Nirupana. Sometimes we may find fault in the certain external traits of the great devotees. Like Draupadi. Oh, Draupadi, what kind of a lady? She had 5 husbands. Like that, we may find a fault in Draupadi. Lord Shiva, oh, he doesn't take bath, he puts ashes all over his body. What kind of a Vaishnava? No sense of cleanliness. And the Pandavas, what kind of people? They share one wife among each of them, among each other. It looks so peculiar actually. Like that, we may find fault in the externals of great devotees. So in that way, Ramanujacharya warned that do not commit offenses to the Vaishnavas based on these different views. And therefore, Rupa Goswami mentions Dupadeshamrita, Drishtai Swabhava Janitair, Vapushascha Doshair, न प्राकृतत्वमिह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत् गङ्गां वसां न खलु बुधपेन पङ्कैर् ब्रह्मद्रवत्वमपगच्छति नीरधर्मैः. This is the important shloka. With this, we'll conclude. So, Rupa Goswami said that being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. A pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee is having a body born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or an infirm body. According to the ordinary vision, such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee. But despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of the Ganges, which is sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam and mud. The Ganges waters do not become polluted, and those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. So Rupa Goswami summarizes the same message of Ramanuja in this verse. How one should not judge a Vaishnava based on the external traits. Just like one should not judge the Ganges based on certain external traits, like full of bubbles, etc. Without considering that, one should take bath in the Ganges. Similarly, even with a Vaishnava has certain external traits, neglecting them, one should show proper respect to the Vaishnava. But the mistake of Daksha was that Daksha was seeing Lord Shiva only from a bodily point of view. He is my son-in-law and he did not show respect to me. And the way he is going to respond to that, we will see how the Daksha is going to criticize Lord Shiva. We will see from the next shloka in the next week. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I just wanted to comment on this word respect. I mean, I don't know if it really fits the context to what you mentioned, but when we started off with Sandarbhas, Bhagavad the Sandarbha, then yourself had mentioned that why was there a need of writing the Sat Sandarbhas by Jiva Goswami, as it was already written by Gopala Bhatta Goswami. So it was like Jiva Goswami rearranged in all proper systematic order, just adding the missing quotes, inserting missing portions. So I thought in this way, though Jiva Goswami's contribution to the voluminous nature of Sandarbhas is higher, but still he gives the credit to Gopala Bhatta Goswami. So in this way, I felt that he gives respect. And
Yes.
even like, I don't know if this what I'm quoting is right, or like Shukdev Goswami, like how Vyasdev also respected Shukdev Goswami on the Vyasasana. That also.
Yes.
Yeah, and Kunti Maharani is also like, though she's the aunt, like Krishna is, of course, that bodily relation, whatever, family relation.
Yes.
But yeah, these three,
Of course, like the family, some devotee family, there is the relationship is there. The relationship, it's not that because of seeing as a Vaishnava, we keep only our reverence. Sometimes a devotee family also, the father, mother, will have to correct the son, will have to chastise the son. But that is a human aspect is there. At the same time, one should not forget the fact that they are Vaishnavas. Sometimes people, when they little cross the Lakshman Rekha in the sense that sometimes one shows some unwarranted anger or some extreme reaction. Certain human response, sometimes becoming angry, that is part of this one. Even the Pandavas family, Draupadi became angry with Yudhishthir. Among the Pandavas, there were differences. Bhima was angry with Yudhishthir. Those things were there. But at the same time, you should not go beyond a certain level. That means like we forget the fact that they are Vaishnavas. Therefore, it is important that remember, even within the devotee family, that's our Vaishnavas. Correct.
yeah, like Yudhishthir Maharaj in the gambling match, he lost, but then all the other brothers actually obeyed him, did not, disrespect him. Like,
Actually, that was the one of the mistake, because in the gambling match, Yudhishthira Maharaj's mistake was that he saw Draupadi only from the point of view of he thought that I am the proprietor of Draupadi. So Draupadi is my wife, and I can actually put her as a stake. And then because I have lost Draupadi, therefore I cannot do anything. When Draupadi was being disrobed, and he didn't do anything. And the other Pandavas, they also saw that they were thinking that, oh, we are actually obedient. We are obedient to our brother. Our brother is not saying anything. Therefore, and Draupadi also, we lost Draupadi. Therefore, we cannot do anything. That is the mistake they did actually, because Draupadi, Draupadi is their wife, but more than that, they are basically the caretakers of Draupadi on behalf of Krishna. In a family also, the wife or the son, the husband should think that, oh, I am the caretaker of this of my wife on behalf of Krishna. I am the caretaker of my children on behalf of Krishna. But the mistake happens when our position is actually caretaker, but while forgetting that when we think ourselves to be the proprietor, that is the mistake actually. When the caretaker thinks himself to be the proprietor, it's like, for example, the cashier in the bank, he is the caretaker of the money deposited by the customers on behalf of the bank. But if he thinks himself to be the proprietor of that money, then what a great mistake he will make. Then he will suppose, I'm the proprietor of the money, let me take the money and go home. That is a mistake. So in the case of the Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj forgetting the fact that actually Draupadi is a devotee of Krishna. I am supposed to be the caretaker of Draupadi on behalf of Krishna. He forgot that actually. He only was thinking that I am the proprietor of Draupadi and I lost Draupadi in the gambling match. So therefore, he didn't put effort when Draupadi was being insulted. So, and the other Pandavas also, they also did a mistake. So at that time, what is the predominant thought should have come? We might have Draupadi, we are supposed to be the caretaker of Draupadi and we have a Krishna, and Draupadi is a Vaishnava, and Vaishnava is being offended. I cannot just keep quiet. I cannot keep quiet. So I should put my full effort to stop that offense. That they didn't do it. So it's a mistake. Hare Krishna.
Also, like Yudhishthir Maharaj, he described each and every whatever he was putting, on stake, like, the material things. He was describing each and every object, and then he started describing Draupadi also. So that was also not really.
Yeah, that's why the whole episode shows that how the gambling can contaminate the mind of a person. The whole episode shows even the Dharma personified, when he came in contact with gambling, how his mind got illusioned, how he got his intelligence was covered, how he made mistakes. So that's why these four sinful activities, meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, gambling. Ajamila was such a great Brahmana, but when he came in contact with the prostitute and illicit sex, how he fell down from an exalted position, how he became a low class person. And Yadus were highly advanced in culture, very highly cultured people. But when they drank liquor and they were so affected by that intoxication of that liquor, and that in that intoxication they killed each other. The whole Yadu Vamsha got dynasted. Yadu Vamsha got annihilated, got destroyed. And here, gambling, the power of gambling is demonstrated through Yudhishthira Maharaj, power of illicit sex through Ajamil, and power of intoxication through Yadu Vamsha. How it can bring down such elevated people also to a low platform. It can contaminate their mind.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Om.
Prabhuji, regarding this Vaishnava Aprad, how he was thinking that he is my son-in-law, the Daksha Prajapati, to Lord Shiva. So, as you explained that we will not know how one ball hits where. So, all our spiritual credits will be lost within some years if we are not very means thinking. But I what I understand is that Maharaj Rahugana says that to Bharat Maharaj that oh, actually I offended you, but from now I will see to it that I will not come to know that who is the devotee or Vaishnava. Even the child may be a Vaishnava or the old person may be a Vaishnava. So what my understanding is that we should start practicing not to offend anyone. Certainly, the Vaishnavas are very high class, but because when we start practicing that, then we will not offend Vaishnavas. Otherwise, if we think that he is a devotee and he is not a devotee, then maybe by that habit, we may sometimes offend Vaishnavas also.
Yeah, in
Yes,
general,
Prabhu.
one should have a respectful disposition towards everyone. Because Madhyamadikari, he should he should have friendship with the Vaishnavas, neglect the envious people, worship the Guru and the Supreme Lord, and show compassion to the innocent people. That's also there for Madhyamadikari who discriminate in this way.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, when we see that Shukdev Goswami, when he is telling the Bhagavad to Parikshit Maharaj, Narad Muni is also sitting, Vasudev is also sitting, And he tells about Narad Muni, that how he was a Gandharva and what mistakes he committed. But Narad Muni doesn't seem to bother about it, like though Shukdev Goswami is smaller in age than Narad Muni. So how does one explain this, Prabhuji?
Yeah, that's why, see, when our Shastras are such that Shastras, they don't hide anything actually. Shastras, they speak about even the mistakes of the great personalities. But when those stories are spoken, the focus is on the particular Siddhanta and the principle. It's not, it's not on the person based. It never belittles a person. The same episode was narrated by Shukdev Goswami, not belittling a person, Narada Muni, but on highlighting a principle. So in that way only all the stories are. Shukdev Goswami spoke about the story of Indra, the Shiva going after Mohini Murti, other stories also. But always the Shastras, when they speak about the mistakes of the great personalities, or when Shukdev Goswami spoke also, the focus is on actually highlighting the principle, not in belittling a person.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Prabhuji,
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Prabhuji, next time starting from